All right, let's get to the main event. Bef I'd like to introduce our guest, Dr. McGough. He is joining us at South Dakota Mines. He's been at Mines since 1998, and he's the head of our electrical engineering and computer science department. I know that sounds a little different, and he's going to talk about that today. Jeff graduated with a double major in math and anthropology, and then he went on to earn his PhD in math from the University of Utah. He began his career, like I said, in 1998 here, but in the math department, and eventually transitioned over to the computer science and then electrical engineering and computer science department. I am sure that that transition is worth its own lunch and learn someday. Jeff, we might have to get you in on that. Jeff and his wife, Julie, have a son who works at SpaceX, so it's safe to say that innovation and ambition, it runs in the family. We're thrilled to have you here today to share your insights and your experience and updates of the department with us, Dr. McGough. And with that, I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Shelley, for this. Let me, let's see, share. Got to share here. Okay. Shelley, is that?
Yes,
can
it's sharing. You're good to go. I can see it.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. Well, as introduced, my name is Jeff McGough. I'm the department head for electrical engineering and computer science. As a department, we're relatively new. We've been around for a little over 3 years, but as you know, many of you know, the particular majors has been around for a very long time. It's been an administrative reorganization, and I think it's reinvigorated the faculty and has done great things for the department. This was Jim Rankin's concept, and we're really pretty excited about it. Let's jump right in. I'm gonna just hit a couple of points that you might hear if you were in the admissions or tours to just talk a little about Mines. You know, Mines is still a fabulous value, and so certainly electrical engineering, computer science is a fabulous value. You know, when I talk to students, I give them this overview of, you know, this is what it's going to cost you, and it comes out to about $20,000 a year, which is again, as you saw years ago and still now, South Dakota School of Mines and Technology is one of the best values in engineering on the planet. Pretty exciting. Our placement rate is super high. That's the 98% placement rate is campus wide. Certainly in computer science, electrical engineering, computer engineering, we often hit 100% depending on the year, and it's certainly 100% if you had an internship. Starting salaries campus wide are $70,000, but you know, if you work in artificial intelligence, our recent grads are getting offers upwards to $100,000. For starting just fresh out of college. We have a great group of employers that come. So, you know, if you look at 225 employers, we have about 2,200 undergrads. And so that's a 1-to-10 ratio, which is better than any school I'm familiar with. So a pretty exciting future for the students who come here. Now, so to jump into the department, the EECS, Electrical Engineering Computer Science, it sounds like 2 programs, but in the merger, we have a whole lot of programs involved. We're one of the largest departments on campus in terms of total number of academic offerings. We have 16 different catalog entries. So the degrees you're familiar with, bachelor's in electrical engineering, bachelor's in computer science are there, and bachelor's in computer engineering. We have 2 specializations in computer science right now, one in artificial intelligence and machine learning, and another specialization in cybersecurity. And those 2 specializations have been around basically since COVID. And they took a little while to get going, but they're now really picking up. We're seeing a lot more students pick the specializations than the core degree. So it's, you know, we're offering a greater diversity. And brand new this year, we're very excited about this. We're launching our bachelor's in data science and engineering. And so we have a very diverse, a very robust and really dynamic set of academic offerings and a very exciting landscape for us right now. We have currently 4 graduate programs, 2 masters, computer science and engineering, and 1 in electrical engineering, a PhD in data science and engineering, a PhD in electrical engineering, and I hope that we'll be announcing a year from now in fall 26 a master's in data science and engineering. I should say I hope that one's already in the pipeline, and I'll be pretty excited to see a full stack from bachelor's, master's, and PhD in data science, since that's probably one of the fastest growing areas in the sort of computing ecosystem. We also still have several minors there: avionics, computer science, robotics, and systems engineering. We'll probably also be launching a minor in data science. That seems to be pretty popular with students. So a whole lot of activities in this new blended large department. Uh, Often folks want to know, what are we looking at in these new undergraduate degrees? And I shouldn't say new, but in terms of how we see them currently in the academic landscape. So, when we talk to students, we talk about this growth of data science and how we're seeing the computer science field spread and split out. So, computer science still has the core disciplines of understanding data, understanding software engineering, understanding algorithms. That's sort of the core things we're still doing here. And in addition, we have cybersecurity. VR is virtual reality, augmented reality, user interfaces there, and high performance computing, which now, when we say HPC, that's just not big clusters of traditional machines. That's also quantum computing in there. So we're doing a whole lot of work in the computer science spectrum. We're looking at the impact of AI. As you all know, AI is going to have a transformational impact on the computer science discipline. Right now, AIs can program, so I believe that programming is going to start moving out of this, and we'll see computer science becoming more software engineering, code integration, and more of that flavor. Data science is all about machine learning, data analytics, artificial intelligence. So you go through our program, you learn how to build an LLM, if you've heard the acronyms, and train it. So great work in there. Data science, that degree is very broad. It has tracks within it to go learn other sciences. A pretty exciting offering that we have. Computer engineering is focused on CPU design, digital systems, a lot of edge devices, IoT, distributed computing. Certainly that includes embedded systems and field programmable gate arrays for those of you who've worked with FPGAs. And then electrical engineering, one of our longest, honorable area of engineering. Certainly electronics, really the most requested specialization in electrical engineering we're seeing right now from our recruiters is in power. So energy systems power. We have a brand new power systems lab I want to show you. We have experts in power communications, controls, automation, robotics, that whole ecosystem, and then a lot of work in electromagnetics. We're pretty excited about some of the changes in electrical engineering. We've added some courses. We've added a lot more hands-on. There's more laboratory experiences. So we've increased the amount of learning by doing, learning in the lab. So we'll see that in a bit. So moving on, some folks, seems like a huge, collection, but they're not distinct. Our undergraduate programs all relate to each other. They're sort of synergistic in that they really reinforce and complement the different disciplines here. So, we do have students who really, I'm not sure what I want to be. And I said, you don't have to decide right now. We'll have you declare a major, we'll have you work in there, and then you can take electives, you can work in a variety of areas. And now really we can craft our own specialization. We can go in our own direction. So as an electrical engineer, you can take a lot of data science courses, or a computer engineer, you can focus on a little more of the software side. Whatever works for you, we have this built into the curriculum, and we're looking at ways to increase our flexibility. So pretty excited about these changes in the academic side. About the department itself, we're running right around 190 computer science majors, about 75 in computer engineering, 125 in electrical engineering, 30 graduate students, and just shy of 20 faculty and staff. So we're a large department. We're the second largest department in numbers on campus, very active. We're probably third largest at the university in total number of credit hours that we teach. So we're one of the top sort of bringing in research grants and various curriculum and credit hours. We're doing a whole lot on this campus. Pretty exciting. It means there's a lot of opportunities for students, whether it's in looking at research opportunities, specializations, or just connecting with industry. That we have a good industry connection here. Something that you may recall, we're very proud of. We are ABET accredited. We have the top level accreditation in all of our engineering, and we've designed the data science program, so that will be accredited too. So as you know, that's required for sitting for the professional engineer and your state licensing. So I'm very proud of our credentialing. So one thing that you may not have heard about, we offer an accelerated master's degree. So this is great for students who really aspire to a little more advanced education, but the finances, time, there are a lot of constraints out there to go to grad school. We're able to overlap electives, so senior electives and your graduate electives can be overlapped some, and that allows a student to finish in 5 years. So you can get to both your bachelor's and your master's in 5 years. It's a great idea. I mean, we sit down with students and we talk to them about, is this the right thing for you career-wise? What are you looking to do? Does it make more sense to get a double major or a major with a few minors, or this bachelor's, master's? It depends on their particular aspirations. If they're looking at robotics, we typically talk to them about breadth. If they're looking for going into machine learning, we want to have some depth there. So this is a great option for students who are really wanting to extend their academic training. So this here is our cast of characters, our faculty. We have, I don't know if you can see my mouse. So we have two new hires, Dr. May, who's helping us with data science and machine learning, and Dr. Chakraborty, who is going to be helping with more of the large language models and more of the generative AI side. And so we have a group of folks that are spanning cybersecurity, machine learning, lots of areas in hardware, like the field programmable gate arrays, all the way over to antennas and power. So a great group of faculty here that are supporting our mission. There may be some faces y'all recognize depending on when you graduated. So let's just keep moving on here. Something that the School of Mines is really excited about is the accomplishment we're doing in terms of entrepreneurship. Something that we've leaned into here in this department for a number of years. In 2016, I did a software entrepreneurship course, and we've been introducing entrepreneurship concepts from local businesses and individuals into our used to know it as senior design. We call it capstone here. It's a little more ABET branded language. But because of that and this sort of culture on campus, we've done very well in the business plan competition in this state. So we have the student division won first place, but we have open divisions, and often the open divisions have students involved and engaged in that. And indeed, we have students from this department involved in winning. They've done very well in the last couple of years, have been students from electrical engineering and computer engineering there. So something that we believe is really quite valuable as an experience in getting that sort of business entrepreneurship side to the engineering degree. So in terms of innovation, this campus is twice as inventive. So that would be, if you look at the number of patents per dollar, so for $1 invested, we get twice out compared to universities around the country. And this is certainly what happens in this department as well. We have a lot of inventive innovation going on here. It really is a neat thing to witness. A lot of our work is it's connected with Ellsworth. It has a lot of DoD related projects. So we're very proud of our contribution in that area. And so really for a school this size, we have an amazing amount of new businesses, ventures, SBIRs, STTRs. So pretty exciting news in that respect. So the physical aspects of the department, as I mentioned, it was about 2022, we merged it was computer science and engineering was the department at the time, and then there was electrical engineering, and they were brought together. We're still split in terms of buildings. We have in the electrical engineering physics building, we have the electrical engineering and computer engineering staff, really the faculty that have hardware labs. They're here where I am right now in EEP. And then we have computer science and data science still over in McClory. That's simply because we don't have the office space here on the third floor of electrical engineering. This is EEP is full. We're packed just solid. So to get everyone together, which is one of my stretch goals, I'd love to have us all under one roof, will require some movement, renovating the building, expanding to it for more offices, or finding another space where biomedical or physics might be able to relocate to. So these are things that we're looking forward to in the future so we can have that cross-pollination with everyone together. So if you've been here in the last 3 years, you know that we have been in a constant state of contractors. Contractors here, there, everywhere. That although that brings challenges, it's very exciting. But what we've seen and since many of you have been in EEP, new bathrooms, a complete new electrical. They from the breaker at the front of the building all the way to the outlets, we have all new power into the building. And this was exciting because we got a power lab wired with a couple of 100 amps of 3-phase going in there. So for the double E's, that's really a great way to fire up the power lab. New windows, whiteboards, lab lighting, new blackboards, all, it's gotten a really fresh coat of paint. Even my wife went around and repainted all the door frames. And so we've cleaned up the place and really modernized it. That's very exciting to introduce the new students here to a place that has really all new labs. So just an example, I thought you might be curious. Some of you may recall what we see here, the old circuits lab. It had the old breaker boxes in here, and those had live 3-phase. So the decision was to pull that out. And there was just a lot of things we needed to do in terms of increasing our storage, getting rid of the unsafe panels, improving visibility, improving configurability, handicap access. There's a lot of things that we've changed. So we did this renovation. This has taken us a couple of years to modernize it, but it's cleaned up the rooms a lot. Now they may seem a little plain right now, so the disclaimer is that we're still working with marketing to get things up on the walls. But we've improved our storage. The cabinets are on rollers, so we can quickly reconfigure a lab. We can move things around and I'll show you some examples of how we configure for various courses. But we've increased our overall capacity in the room, better visibility. We now have handicap access. We have much better projection and lighting, and we have dimmable lights now, so we can both use the projector and still do lab experiments. So our labs have really been upgraded. And so we also have had a great donor who upgraded the digital systems lab. So this was overhauled a couple of years ago. Roy Hoffman did a great job in helping us there. And so with the new benches and new computers, chairs, new projection, we actually, since I took this photo, the lighting's been changed. So that's now the electrical has been in the room for that. For those worried, when you go back, let me jump back. Let me just run you back. If you look here, it seems like, where is all the bench equipment? I mean, that's a concern. Some folks like, are you still using equipment? Oh, yes, we are. We still use tons of equipment. What we do for the configurability is the equipment is stored in those cabinets that are on rollers. So we just fill those cabinets up with all the equipment that a class will need, and then TA can just distribute it for the lab. And that way we can have a virtual reality lab 1 hour, and the next hour we can have circuits 2. And then the hour after that, we can do the electromagnetics course. So it really allows us a lot more of options and ability to meet the student's schedule. So no longer do we have to say, this is a fixed lab and we run that course all day long and you only have a 5 o'clock slot. We really can fit with student schedules much better. But all the equipment's there, and it's reflective of increasing the number of labs that we're doing in our curriculum. So the rooms often look like this. But we can also use them for summer camp. So this summer we ran a musical electronics camp. We focused on STEM education for girls. So this was introducing, this is principally 8th, 9th, and 10th grade girls to some concepts in electronics. And we focused around music. So in the back of the room, it's a little bit hard to see, but there were guitars and various musical instruments that they would plug in, and they would build sound altering equipment, filters, and various things that you'd use to produce sound effects. And then they could record it and build tracks and build up from that. So kind of a sound engineering, electrical engineering course. This is our second year. It's a very popular one. We'll continue running that to introduce students to electronics through audio. But that was by virtue of this configurability. Just simple things like getting power in the ceiling that we had. Really a great gift and a lot of donation dollars that came through Kara. So very appreciative of that. You may know that we've been working on an avionics lab. With Scott's passing, we had a lab dedicated to him, and it's been funded by several aerospace companies. So here's a picture of 3 of the 4 flight sims. There's a duplicate of this simulator here right there. It's aspect ratio. It's hard to get all 4 on. So these are sort of trainers, the ones that are on this wall. This is the one that Scott built. It's really kind of an experimental unit. The students are allowed to play around with, configure, work with. The other sims we keep configured as is. This larger one is FAA certified, so you can do continuing hours as a pilot, and we have the pilot school out here that uses that. So pretty excited about the avionics lab. What's going in on this right-hand side, we're going to be putting some benches and actual electronics gear so they can lean into their avionics training. So this lab is still under development. Let's keep going. We now have some student spaces. This is pretty fun. We've set up a little place for them to have some food and just visit. So this is more of a social space. So we did the bistro table things, and we have there's actually a fridge right here now with the microwave, and then we stock it with snacks. So we want to try to get the students working together. The goal is if they can eat and start networking, then they can be available for the next thing. And I'm sorry, but this is a funky aspect ratio on it. But we've built a student study room, and they can move these tables around and configure it as needed. So it gives them another place to network, work on homework. And then they also can do things like we're doing here with Zoom. They can connect up if they have a project with a sponsor that's remotely, a TV on either side, and we have barriers in there, baffles that they can roll in place to set up place for streaming if it's a senior design project or if it's something else that they're working with their mentor. So all new space. This is converted, and it's been put together just in the last couple of years. It's just finalized in August. We also have a new project space, so we're looking for outreach activities. So we're going to be hiring students to come and help with K-12 outreach. And so these students will be hired, and they'll be working in here, and they'll build projects and things that they can interact with middle and high school students, as well as for tours and other things. So brand new project space that we've put together. So that's pretty exciting. I mentioned new power systems lab. It's being built right now. These units just got assembled a couple of days ago and put on the table. So we're still working on where the location goes, and we still need to get the final mounts for them underneath. Those are on order. But these are pretty exciting machines. This was a sort of a alumni gift. We cobbled together some money, so we had a principal donor, and then we matched out of Kara funds. These systems simulate energy, high power delivery, as well as running machines. So they have, so here's a full 3-phase power supply in it, and then some issues about transmission lines. There's some inductive work, some motors and generators in here, so they can get the complete experience in energy systems, power electronics, without actually having direct contact with 3-phase. These units are about $35,000 a pop. So we're able to afford the 3 of them. We're hoping to do some fundraising to get another 2 so we can extend the lab capacity here. So that's really our most exciting recent addition in our laboratory equipment. And when that gets a little further along, we'll have a newsletter coming out with pictures of what the final lab is like, especially when we get them off the tables and onto a more permanent mount. So new branding through the building. Just a week ago, we got our new sign. So when you come visit, you're going to see a new front end, new polish on it. We've added some colors. Marketing has given us the go-ahead to get some color on the wall to kind of help liven up the place, so it's not just the uniform white around. So as you walk around the building, you'll see our new branding coming up. So a cleaned and polished look, which is really fun. So what are we focusing on in terms of undergraduates and the work that we're doing? So for those in computer science, these are sort of the areas that students can focus in, and this is what our faculty are working in. So I mentioned some of this earlier, and we have really a lot of different exciting experiences for students, whether in their electives, whether research, senior projects, and just core coursework. So as I mentioned before, we're looking at algorithms, AI, quantum in the computing sector, the same with the data science, a lot of AI, data engineering. And then over on did I lost a slide. My apologies. My electrical engineering slide is missing. I will so in the double E side, we have there's a lot of work going on in microwave technology, advanced electromagnetics, smart grid, smart power systems, and there's work in sort of the networking side of communications. And computer engineering, the expertise here is in custom CPU design. So really at the FPGA level. So looking at architecture. So pretty exciting things there. Okay, the labs. I just wanted to do a shout out because as we're building, we're going to be reaching out for fundraising. I would love to extend the Power and Energy Systems Lab up to get these units you saw are the Festo units. They these particular units, and I'm seeing 46K, so I think that's now including the tariffs that are on top of it. So they're great units. The professor who's using them, he trained on them when he went through school. So they're good, really a good investment for us. And as we expand for more students being involved, we want to look at some reconfiguring. We want to build out our circuits lab. We want to build out our communications lab. So there's some hardware there that we're looking at, and we'll be looking at campaigns to purchase some of this and writing grants as much as possible so we can get this hardware here to extend that hands-on experiences. Digital Systems Lab, we're looking at integrating the FPGAs with some of the modern digital equipment, and that's going to the new trainers and the new analog and digital discovery boards are where we want to head. So we're looking for really building a lab in that sense, and as well as the electronics lab, looking at more of the circuit boards for the analog work. So moving on, I just give you a little idea of the challenges. There, as many of you know, there's been significant cuts at the federal level. That's a good quarter. Just the federal funding from these agencies is probably a quarter of our budget. And so we're trying to figure out how to pivot to manage the significant cuts there. And then federal dollars just in general, that's maybe just shy of half of our budget. So higher ed is going through a period of I don't know, resource reduction. And we're learning how to navigate with much less in terms of resources. And so those are some of the challenges. Faculty and staff retention and recruitment are always, we've got a good reputation. Our faculty are very talented and they have options. So, it's a matter of figuring out through, endowed chairs and other things, how we want to keep people here. We try to balance a quality teaching program with a lot of research demand. So the high teaching load is certainly a challenge. But maybe in the middle of this list, I've sort of slipped it in the middle, is the impact of artificial intelligence. I believe this is transformational for our higher ed and in engineering in general. And we are spending a lot of time to figure out what does education, engineering education, and specifically computing education mean in the face of artificial intelligence. When I can hop onto Claude and say, write me this program, or write me this module, or write me this function, and it does a lot of the work for us. It's not perfect, it doesn't do everything, but it's pretty amazing in what it can do. We also see some demographic shifts and changes with Gen Z. There's some things that have made a competitive landscape. So we're really in a transformational period, as I mentioned. We're really looking at how we define ourselves going to train students who will be working from 2035 to 2050. What does that landscape look like? So with that, I thought that's a half an hour there. I thought I'd open up to questions. And I just want to let you know, if you're curious about curriculum details, if you have any of that, I can bring up specific curriculum. We can jump in if you want that on the Q&A. So I will be quiet for a minute.
Perfect. First of all, thank you, Dr. McGough. That was very informational. And I got to say that study lounge area that you have, the tables that can move around for your senior design, that has really come together. They were working on that this summer. And so we had a huge reunion. I don't know if any of you guys heard about that, but we had over 1,600 alumni and guests on campus this summer. And some of you hopefully were here and got to see some of these spaces in person. As Dr. McGough mentioned, we have had a tightening of belts on campus. We've had a merging of several of our different degrees to under one head just to tighten the belt. And that's not just because we froze our tuition for 4 years, or the Board of Regents did, but also because COVID and everything went and cost higher. And so on campus, we streamlined a lot, so much so that as a parent with 2 kids currently at the school, I was begging the Board of Regents to increase the tuition because I was seeing the effects of it on campus. So I thank you for that. We only have one question right now. So I want to give you guys some time to write up some questions, put them in the Q&A. We will definitely get to that question in just a second. And I want to share with some of you that weren't here. I am going to ask Dr. McGough to stop sharing. So then I can, oh, there we go. I can force it. And I want to apologize. I am not a huge IT person. I do okay, but I have a food science degree, so that's not very great for IT. And I didn't have the chat going. My person wasn't here today, so I do apologize about that. But I do want to let you know our next Lunch and Learn is what's new with biomedical engineering, one of our newest undergraduate departments on campus. And kind of talking through that. They're young enough, they hit ABET accreditation, so we're bringing them on to share their information. Really big, and I don't know if you've gotten a postcard from us or seen some emails, but we have a new alumni directory. This is completely new. It does not take your old email and password. You set it all up new. That's out there. This one, it's a lot more engaging. It looks a little bit more like LinkedIn or Facebook. We put events there. You can do mentoring there. So I see it. We've got 1964 is the oldest I see in the chats. 2004 are the youngest I see in the chat. Really can go out there and find your own mentor inside of the industry and connect that way. That's really what this platform is all about, is networking. And so we want it to meet your needs in that manner. So get out there. It is at alumni.sdsmt.edu, which I have right here. We have some upcoming events this weekend in Fort Collins. We've got a bike tour de mines. If you want to learn more about that, please hop on our Hard Rocker Connections page. And we have on the 21st, we've got a Vikings game. It's a lot of fun. We get a huge crowd out there. And then afterwards, we go for a happy hour if you can make it. I was surprised how many people flew in for our event last year. And so I hope to see some of you at that. Rocker Days is coming up. We love to have you back on campus and relive some of those traditions. It's a hard rock and roll, and that's because this year we have a new president, and he's getting inaugurated during homecoming on that Wednesday. And we would love for any of you to be able to join us or join us virtually for that. But when we asked Dr. Tandy what he wanted to do for a celebration, he's like, I really like Metallica and a beer. And so we aren't able to afford Metallica, but they've got a local band coming in, and we'll have some fun on campus. Of course, we have our Hard Rocker Heritage Gala, where we award our outstanding recent grads and our honorary alumni, our distinguished alumni, and then our March medalists. I apologize. And we brought back the parade. So if you're missing that parade, we've brought it back. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, we hope to win against Fort Lewis. Followed up by some Rock Hill brawls. I won't touch on this too much because you'll hear more about it, but I do want to let you know we're taking the fight off the field this year. And so if you want to be a part of it, it is all about raising for scholarships. And it's not the money what we're going after, it's the amount of donors is how we're going to win. And so whether if it's a small gift of $5 or a big gift of $1,000, we just want you to be a part of it and help us bring home this trophy also. Okay, so I'm going to stop, and I see we have another. Let's see, we got a few more questions in here. Okay, so the first one is from Brian Powers. He's asking, he said the cost that you stated earlier in your slide deck does it reflect in-state tuition? Was it the 11,000? Because that would be
Yeah,
in-state.
yeah. So that was an in-state.
Yep.
So, and there's a couple of levels. So we have just the basic in-state, and then there's the neighboring state tuition level, and then there's kind of the country at large. And that 20K reflects the in-state tuition. So,
And we've expanded in-state tuition to be offered through any state that's touching us, Iowa and Kansas. So if you've got people out in that area, make sure you let them know that they now get in-state tuition too. Out-of-state tuition is about 16,000 a year, and that's just the tuition and fees. And then if they live on campus, then there's the campus about 8,000 to live on campus. Dave Thomas asks, who can we contact about equipment donations?
so, well, how about me? I mean,
Yeah,
the person who will eventually make the decision is Jason Ward. And you can, I mean, it's jason.ward@sdsmt.edu. I can put that in chat, but both myself and Jason can manage it here. So I'm going to add that jason.ward@sdsmt.edu.
and then we do gifts and kind agreements so that you get that the company would get that or the person would get that through on
Right,
their tax.
right. And so we can, yeah, you just reach out to Jason and we can go from there, depending on kind of what the equipment is and what you want it used for.
Perfect. And I have a question to go on top of that is how do you receive your senior design projects and who would they contact if they have a company or idea that they want a senior design team to try to tackle?
So we're in transition right now. Ann Bretlinger has a HubSpot, which projects are coming in. This year we've done it a couple of years, and then the person we had, our senior design person, left, and we didn't get set up on HubSpot over the summer quickly enough. So I ended up just having everybody email to me for this one time. But going forward, I believe it'll all be through HubSpot and Ann Bretlinger. But you can always email me. Let's see. Yeah.
And I will also send a follow-up email to everyone that registered for today's Lunch and Learn that will have Dr. McGough's email also in there. And then I'm going to ask him for his slide deck and if he has a chance to include that electrical engineering one that slipped out.
I will get that. I'll fix it. I started to do that and realized I need to answer questions. So yes,
Nope, no, you're good.
so
We'll get that out to you in a follow-up email to everyone. So don't worry about that.
if you
Okay,
have a senior design project that you want to include, you can certainly send it to me and I can get it to Ann. Or we can, look at it ahead of time. I have a fixed form that I'll send you that helps guide,
okay,
how do I scope it? What's appropriate? What will work? And then, we can start the dialogue. And
perfect.
happy to let you know that just so you know, for this year that's launched. I mean, the senior design classes are up and running, and the capstone projects have been already circulated. So,
Right, for this year. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Daniel asks, are there any new or exciting camp teams related to electrical engineering? I said civil engineering in Senge, but I assume, Daniel, you meant computer science in Senge.
yeah, so probably the most recent one is the data miners. It's a group that's doing data science. They're a competitive team. Let's see. We have, going backwards, we have Rowboat, which is the aquatic robotics team. Think before that, well, I don't know how long it's been since you've been here, Unmanned Aerial Systems. We have the Vex Robotics. There are a couple of robotics groups. Those are a little more interdisciplinary. But with us, it's the aquatic robotics. We're looking at launching a new team they're getting their stuff together right now to do a submersible. So an AUV team. So that's not yet a student organization, but I hope that, by the end of the year, it'll be a full-fledged student organization. And they're also looking at doing a camp team-like structure to make it like Moon Rockers or some of the others. So we will have air, land, and sea in terms of robotics here. I think by Christmas.
Excellent. Thank you. David also asks, did any CHIPS Act money end up at South Dakota Mines? And I don't know if you can.
No,
Okay.
no. At least not that I'm aware of. Some of the rounds of the CHIPS Act is more foundry and more industry related. We'll see what happens when they get a little more R&D. I'm hoping to see not just with brick and mortar, but electronic design. Just because I work a little bit in that area right now, but looking at AI enhanced circuit, PC board, and chip design. So I'm hoping we can work in that space. That to be determined. Right now, the funding. So I just landed a grant in the South Dakota Biomedical Computing Consortium that this department and USD and the Stanford School of Medicine, we got together and we landed $6.5 million to enhance biomedical research and communication, using current computing tools to better communicate to healthcare providers. So that's a lot of so in terms of infusion and money, we're really looking at the biomedical side right now. Hopefully we'll see the CHIPS Act come in, but the biomedical computing is our big sort of big venture at this point.
Thank you. And I'm going into the chat. I've got a couple questions in there. One from Bob Case.
Hello,
First of
Bob.
all, he says, thank you for the update. And he goes, as part of power systems, is anything planned for the wind turbine on the hill?
The last time I talked to Dr. Roberts, no. So as you know, it didn't get shut down on a windy day and it burned out the turbine. And so right now there are no plans to replace the damaged equipment. I would love to see that happen. Maybe if there was, that's purely a financial decision, I believe. I think that it's pretty expensive. If we have someone who's willing to step up to help that, certainly our department and our energy systems faculty would be interested in looking at that. Right now, we just look at what we have as solar as terms of the green energy that we can do. But it'd be great to see that turbine moving, Bob.
Yeah. And Dr. Roberts is the provost of our
Oh,
university.
sorry.
So
Yeah,
sorry,
sorry.
I just
Yeah,
in
yeah.
case that you don't know
Yeah.
who he is. So
Yes, yes. I mean, I think Dr. Roberts would love to see things up and running, but there's as Shelley mentioned, it's tight right now between tuition cuts, less state funding, a lot less federal funding, everything. We're really having to focus on some of our core competencies and our core mission, and the wind turbine is maybe not high enough on the list.
yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Well, from Adam, he actually put a link in the chat, which I will
Hello,
share.
Adam. Is this Adam Dickinson?
It is one Adam Dickinson. He
Hello,
says, have you
Adam.
incorporated any video resources like this Welch Lab videos on YouTube that can improve intuition about difficult to understand concepts? He recently gained a much better understanding of things like high dimensional gradient
Dis-
descent and
Descent.
imaginary numbers based videos like this. And I said a whole bunch of words I don't understand, so I apologize.
High dimensional gradient descent. Yes, Adam.
Okay.
Hey, we're doing more and more leaning into having video supplements in class. So there's a lot of that going on. It's not just Khan Academy and a few YouTube. We're looking at having a complete portfolio of videos. I'm right now in the room right next to me here looking at setting up a video production lab to be able to supplement what's on YouTube. So the answer is yes, but it depends on the faculty member. We've got some very traditional folks that are very chalk and just, chalk in the chalkboard. And I have a faculty member who makes custom, he uses Seed or something like that, has custom videos made by the AI. He'll write out the script, he'll hand it to the AI, it'll produce a video segment, he'll go and edit it and push it out, and he glues together a lot of tools. So we are really embracing this technology. It's pretty exciting.
And I have a follow-up question
Okay.
then from Adam, which is you kind of touched about AI, but he's interested in how we're adapting with AI. Is there any other um, high quality and AI that we can just use complex topics to improve like intuition over the lecture in the textbooks? Is there some
Right. So,
more?
Adam, this is a very complicated thing that we're trying to figure out. We've got several working groups. The president of the university has hired a couple of consultants to get together to say, what does engineering education mean in the post-Gen AI era, and specifically in computer science. So, as you know, Adam, I know you know this, you can pull up Claude, you can have it write a ton of code. And so how do we still continue to train the students when the AI can do all the calculus, the AI can do the physics, it can do the circuits, it can do all of this, give them what they need in terms of intuition, but also how can we empower them? A year ago, we had the inventor or developer of Siri out here talking about it, and he's convinced that AI is not going to replace anybody, but it's the individual partnered with AI is going to be the engineer moving forward. And so we want to learn, how do I educate a student? So I teach them the fundamentals so they have the intuition that they can effectively partner with the AI. So maybe some of this is, the AI is doing development work and we're doing more test-driven development, or more, we learn more diagnostic skills. We're trying to figure this out, but we're leaning into the AI. I feel like, horses came, calculators came, excuse me, cars came over horses and calculators came over pencils, and we're not writing machine code anymore. Compilers do that. So this is just another evolution, and we're just trying to learn how this can work. But experts like Adam can help. Adam can be on our industrial advisory board and come help us with the crafting the curriculum, because he's experienced and brilliant and knows a lot of this stuff probably better than I do. So we'll welcome your input, sir.
All right, Adam, I think that's an invitation. So we'll have you follow up with Dr. Magoo. I have a question from Sam. He says, it seems like there's a lot of interest in robotics as far as student organizations, and you mentioned that you mentioned, and also the direction of the industry towards automation. Currently, the department has a robotics minor. Any plans for adding any type of robotics focus as a bachelor's or master's degree?
So absolutely, that's in the works. So there's a robotics engineering degree that is being assembled. Let's see, I had the paper here for a minute. Yeah, so we have a degree program. Now, I should say we, the campus, has a degree program in the works. It's going to be offered through mechanical, mostly because I've refused to have any more degree programs in my department. I can't do it without ending up institutionalized. But this is Pierre La Rochelle and mechanical we're working together. So this is something that my robotics faculty and their robotics faculty are going to go on a joint venture. We have, excuse me, the intent to plan is already filed, so we're working out the details on the curriculum, because robotics, as you mentioned, it's of interest on a broad spectrum. We have a lot of students interested, probably the most number of student teams centered around robotics, and there's really a great deal of interest there. I I think I think originally the plan was to try to get it launched in fall of 26. I don't think we'll make that mark yet, but certainly by fall of 27, we'll have a fully fledged robotics engineering program. It can be ABET accredited, and that's the plan. So it'll be another option for students on campus.
Yeah.
That address your question, sir?
I believe it did. You did a very great job. All right, so David Thompson has one more question, and I'm hoping you understand the acronym he uses because I don't. So I've asked the IEEP VP candidates in a forum if IEEE can replace some of the lost federal funding. Answer was yes, to some degree. Does the department have any IEEE grants or programs?
I I'm sorry, I don't know that
And
right
David,
now.
tell us what IEEE is.
Well, that's a professional organization,
Oh, it
the
is.
Institute
Okay.
of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. And I don't know if we have anything funded through them right now. We've had activities sponsored in the past, but I would have to reach out to my faculty to see what they have engaged in that point. I think the answer is no, we don't at this point.
Okay,
Is it,
perfect.
is there a follow-up that you have that, because it's great to hear that you can help. I didn't mean to make it sound like a pitch in terms of fundraising, but in a sense that's, I mean, that's a real what the alumni can really help us with. It's very valuable in connecting us to industry, connecting us with folks who can help support our mission. We've Our labs are all redone by the alumni, by y'all. It's been great to work with you. It's been exciting, and we have some really new, great experiences for our students because you have helped us out there, and we'd like to continue that, continue the generosity and help us support whether it's new AI hardware, or whether it's the new communications gear that I mentioned in the slide earlier, or extending the power lab. We want to see power systems increase. We would like to lean into 6 and 7G research. That would be great to have that, the equipment for the communication side. So there's just so much opportunity, and we have a great group of students, as you know. They're brilliant, hardworking, and innovative, and we're here to provide them what we need and get out of their way. So, so if you can
Absolutely.
help, please reach out.
Yeah, even just the introduction, if your company has any kind of giving program, even just the introduction to Dr. McGough or to Aunt Brentliger, who helps with reaching out to industry also. And I'll put that also in the follow-up email that we will send out. All right, this is your last chance to throw out any other questions you might have.
Come
I don't know,
on.
they haven't all been, they feel a little softball, don't they? I don't know.
Yeah, you haven't put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I was expecting to get grilled. Come on. I know some of you want to, especially
That's all
those.
right. That's all right. This is your chance.
Yeah, that's right. If you took a certain number of classes from me, you may want to.
Well, he shared his email with you too, so you can always follow up when you think of something later. But I just want to remind everyone that this has been recorded and it will take about a day or two to get up on our Carrie YouTube channel. I really appreciate all of your feedback, so take a moment and if you ever have any ideas of future lunch and learns that you want to hear about that's happening on campus or an event you'd like to see in your area, reach out to me. And then I want to see you guys hop on that Hard Rocker Connections at alumni.sdsmt.edu. Set up the electrical engineering or the SENG or the computer science group and nerd out on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. A special thank you to you, Dr. McGough, for presenting to us today, sharing your insights and all the amazing things that you're really doing inside of that department. It looks good. I mean, it really looks good walking in there. And I want to thank all of you for joining us today for our Lunch and Learn. I appreciate your time and your participation, and I look forward to connecting with you at our next event. Thank you.